channel. So today's topic is going to be iterables. We will see each and everything about the iterables, what iterables are basically. So these are the topics that laid a very strong foundation for your upcoming lectures basically. And whether you are a backend developer, you become a front end developer, this topic is going to be there for each and every you can say every particular developer. So without wasting much time, let's get into the video and let's see what basically these iterables are. So basically this video can be a quite bit long because I will be dealing with the topic in some in depth. So might be I will split this into two halves. So maybe in this video we'll be learning about lists and tuples, and another video we will be dealing with the dictionaries and the sets. So let's get started. So the one of the most used data structure is going to be list. As you have seen that list is going to be used in everywhere. In other programming language it is also called an array as well. So but in Python it's called list basically. How do we create a list? How we manipulate the list? What are the different functions that we use in a list? We will see all this in a particular video. So before let's get into the video and see that what are the ways of defining a list. So there are two ways by which we can define an empty list. The first one is this way. This way you can just define an empty list in an easy way, and the second one is by using the using the list function. List function. So here we have. So these are the two ways by which you can create a list, by using the square operators either or by using the list function. So this is how you create a particular list in Python. Now there's one more advantage of this using the list function, that you can convert any other data structure into a list by using this list function, and this becomes very handy because it helps us to solve many of the problems. For example, let's say you have a particular string hello world, okay, and you want to convert it into the list because you want to, let's say a simple example, let's take a very simple example. Let's say I want to calculate the number of the vowels in this particular world. So how we can do that? We can just convert into the list in this particular way, and then what we can do is we can do what are the vowels we have. We have these vowels, and then if we want to convert, we want to just check that how many vowels we have. We can just take a count variable and just just iterate on this particular list for character in this list that we have created, and then we will check that if the character in vowels, we will just increment the counter, and at last I will just print the number of the vowels in the string. And before that I will show you that after conversion how my list will look like. So let's run this program for you. I just want to print this as well. Okay, so let's save it and just run it. Let me see how does it look like. So you can see it has converted the list into this particular format. As you can see, it basically convert a string into a array of or list of characters with all the spaces and another thing as well. But in our concern was to just calculate the number of the vowels. So if you can see, we have only 3 vowels. O is repeated twice, so he's just counted that as well. So we have not taken that into consideration, but just give you an example that how a list can be used and how a list function can be used to convert other data structures into a list. So another important topic about the list in Python is going to be that we can iterate on both the sides. For example, if you want to iterate it from the front, if you have a particular list, let's say I have a list 5, 4, 6, 7, 8, and I want to iterate it from the front, then you know that the index basically starts from 0. So the iteration will going to start from 0 from the forward direction, and if you want to iterate this list in the backward direction, your index is basically starts from -1. So if I show you in the code, let's say I have this particular list here. Let's say I show you in the vowel array or maybe list. So let's say I have a list of vowels, and if I want to iterate it from the back, or just want to show you that you can get a backward element by using the negative indexes, as you can see. So in this case I will be getting u, and if I just run this again, and you can see I am getting u. If I just clear this for better understanding, so you can see that I have got u, because you basically you can use negative indexes to get elements from the back, or you can also use this to iterate it from the backward. So this is about this one, that you can basically iterate it from the backward. Now there is one more important topic that we have, is called the multi-dimensional list. So what is the multi-dimensional list? So we have talked about the list in this particular format. So if you want to define a list, you do it like this. But there is something called a multi-dimensional list. You can understand a multi-dimensional list as something called a list inside a list, list inside list. For example, if you want to define a very simple multi-dimensional list, it should look like this. So it contains a list inside a list. Basically we will be dealing this in when I will be creating an examples or teaching the examples of the iterables. So we will be creating a simple application of like tic-tac-toe, where we will seeing the two-dimensional list. How do we create that? How do we manipulate that? So as of now, just understand a list, a multi-dimensional list, as a list of inside a list, or the nested list. So you can see there are certain examples already given here. Okay, so we have talked about multi-dimensional list as well. Now there is a very important concept which you will find in Python, is about the slicing of particular items in a list. So slicing means that, let's say you have a particular list in let's say you have 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, but you only want a certain portion of the list. Let's say you want just this one. So you can easily do that by using the slicing property of the Python, like this, until what you want. For example, if it starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, and if it started from 1 till 3, so you can just give it that index. Maybe this is inclusive, we will say in the code, but this is how the slicing will work. And slicing has some amazing properties as well that we'll be seeing in this. For example, skipping the characters, like if you want to get an array and you want to skip all the event elements that is placed, we will see that. Let's dive into the code again. So let's see in what about the slicing in Python. So let's say in the vowel, if you want the element from this till this, the fourth item, so we will get that. Okay, just remove these things which we do not need. Okay, so let me save this and run the file. Now you can see that I am getting all the elements starting from the first index, that is E, and till the fourth one, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is the whatever number has been included is not included in that. Just before that it takes it's not, basically it's exclusive, I guess. Okay, so it will not take the fourth index, basically just below that, so it will be like -1. So you can see that you can use slicing in this particular way. Let's say taken an example by which a slicing can be very much important, and when it's become very powerful when you talk about slicing. For example, let's say we have a particular list called or I would say list of numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, and then let's say I want to print only only the even numbers. How we can do that? So slicing helps us to give this in a very better and a cleaner way by using the slicing property in the list. So how we can do that is going to be basically, let's say I just create a list and then I would do something like this. Let's say this, this, and this, and you have to perform a note A. So it will be like, let me see how we do that. Okay. So okay. A is not defined, so it will be number. Okay, so now if you want to just print B, I guess I'm getting this, so I should start it from maybe 1. Okay, so I've given the initial index of it like 0. Before it was picking up 0, which was 1, but I have to read only the even number, so I have started my index from the first index, that is 2, and maybe in this case we will get a correct result. So let's see. Okay, now you can see that we have get all the even numbers in the position. So this is how you can use slicing for it, and use slicing for basically skipping the numbers. So for one of the important point about slicing is that let's say you have a list 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, let's say, and if you want to, so this first, okay, so this here is the initial index, okay, and then this is the step. Okay, so this here, whatever, let me generalize this for you. So this is the initial, from where you're going to start, this is the last, and this is the step or that you want to skip. For example, in our case we have started from 1. Since we have not mentioned anything, so it will go till the last, and if you want to skip it by 2, so basically if the array is 1, 2, 3, 4, it will skip all the basically it will skip one character of each, or each one element from that particular list. So this is how a slicing is going to be working. So we have talked about list, multi-dimensional list. Okay, so since we have talked about lists, we will be dealing with some of the CRUD operation that we can perform on the list. For example, if we have a list, how we can add something to the list, how we can delete something to the list, how we can update something to the list, and basically read. We already know how we can read a particular list because we have something called iterators, so we can just iterate on them using the membership operator, or using the range normal loop, for loop. Okay, so in order to insert elements or append something to the list, we can use, the Python has something called an append function. So if you have a list, let's say we have a particular list, this, and then if I want to append or add something to this particular list, or add the last, so I will be using this append function. So this append will do what, that it will basically add element to the last of the list. So basically if you have a list like 1 and comma 2, so if you just append 3 to it, so it will become 1 comma 2 comma 3. So you can see that it adds the element at the last, not at the front. So it will add the element at the last. So append function just works like this in Python. So you can use the append function to basically append something, append extra elements to the list basically. So okay, we will also see in our upcoming lectures that Python I guess more than 3 we have advanced ways of defining a list, which we can define the type of the list, because there is one more thing, that Python can store multiple data structures in a single list. For example, it can store int, it can store boolean, it can store strings. So it's not consistent while storing. So for that, Python has introduced something in upcoming lecture. If you see, we can restrict it by using certain data type. There's one more thing that I want to tell you is uh, how do we basically extend if there are going to be two lists. So what is the proper way of doing that? For example, let's say you have a two list. Let's say you have a and B. So let's say 4, 5, 6, and you have another list which is 11, 12. I want to just append this item into this particular list. So what are the ways we can do that? As you can see, so this will give us the same, just like we have used the extend function. So if I want to do this, I just want a dot extend b. So this will give me 4, 5, 6, 11 and 12. But one thing important is that do not use append function, because if you do that, it will basically add the list as it is, and it will look like this, which we do not want to do. So basically, if you have two lists and if you want to merge them, so the best way is to use by using the extend function or by using this assignment operator. So both ways you can basically merge the list properly. If you have two lists, you have to merge it. These are the two ways by which you can do in Python easily. So I guess we have talked a lot about list. This video will get a bit longer because there are other points to deal as well. So I guess I can split this video till here, and I will catch you with other points in the next video. So till then, keep learning. Bye bye. Thank you.